Alright, in this video I'm going to show you guys how to draw using one-point perspective. For this lesson you'll just need a pencil. You don't want to use a pen, and the reason is you just can't erase if you make a mistake, or if you're when you're drawing you want to make like multiple drafts, or again if you make a mistake you can't erase it if you have a pen. So get a pencil. It doesn't have to be like this, but any kind of pencil with an eraser will do. And then a straight edge. If you have a ruler, that's great. If you have, I don't know, just the edge of like the edge of a book or something would work, as long as it's straight. I think a ruler's best. And what you'll do is you'll start out by putting what's going to be a horizon line on your paper. And you might have done this before, so this will be somewhat review for those of you who've done it before. A horizon line, well, the word horizon comes from horizontal, or maybe the word horizontal comes from horizon, I don't know. But when you think of a horizon, you think of like a sunset, and that's maybe a helpful way to think of a line that's oriented this way on the paper. So you could put it, well, let's just put it somewhere around halfway up, and make sure it's roughly the same distance up, so that it's not this way or this way. It doesn't have to be absolutely perfect, but we want it to be somewhat level on the paper, so that we're not slanted, and we'll just make our line right there. And after we've done that, we're gonna, well, we could measure it if you have a ruler. This is 11 inches, and then divide that in half is 5.5, and put a dot right there in the middle. And it doesn't have to be perfect if you don't have a ruler. It doesn't have to be 5.5 perfectly. It's just a little bit helpful if it is. So next we're going to draw the main road, and everybody's artwork's going to look different, but there's going to be some similarities in everybody's artwork, and one of them is going to be this first main road that we put. And take your straight edge up to the point, and this is how I do it. I just put my pencil down on the point and bring my straight edge right up to it. Seems to be a little more helpful than putting the ruler up and then the pencil. So just put your pencil there, and now I'm going to make a line that's slanted and going to the left, such as this. Okay, now we have this, and then we'll do the same on the other side, and these will be the two sides of our road here. Okay, and it's not perfectly centered. I think this one's not, and that's okay. Like it's not as big of a deal. Okay, so now what you could do is, there's a lot of things we could do. We could make one thing I like to do is make the lines on the road. I don't know why, but that's always a fun part for me. And basically what I'm showing you is that you can build almost anything from that you would see in a city using simply this horizontal line and lines that go back to this dot. So watch, I'm gonna go, let's put these lines, the right hand side of the lines will go like this. Okay, so the lines for the road, when they're close, they're gonna be longer, and as they go back, they're gonna be shorter. And see if you can do this. So I'm making them shorter and shorter. They're smaller and smaller, like this, and the distance between them gets smaller as well. And again, it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. And I'm going to put this right here. So again, pencil could go on the dot, and you bring the ruler to the dot, and I'm going to make the lines about that thick. Okay. And I'm just making these lines parallel to the lines that I drew before, and this will give me the effect of the center line in the road. This is where I'm starting. You don't necessarily have to. Okay, so, and now that I have these parallel lines going right into the dot, I'm just going to make the top and the bottom is just going to be parallel with the horizon line. And I can almost freehand that. I mean, to show you, again, they're parallel. I can know that by checking this out. But I'll freehand it. I wouldn't freehand too much in this, because it can start to get real weird, especially the lines that are going into that dot. And I'll show you here in a second when we make a building or a house. it's important that you're using the ruler. Okay, now I'll make a building over here, and I'll put it maybe right here. So I'm going to make a line that goes perpendicular to the horizon, and that's important that it's as close as possible to perpendicular. Perpendicular meaning like this, you should see a right angle right here, 90-degree angle. I'll put the first building right here, and I'll make it kind of tall like this. And then so this will be the far side of it, and then I'll put the other side of it right here. And I'm going to make this line parallel like this. Okay. All right, you might say, what's going on here? But you'll see in a second. So this is the this is the side of the building that faces the road. Now to make the top of this building, I'm going to, again, center on this line here, and then that'll be the top. And now we have an eraser, so we're going to use it. I drew a little extra right here and right here. When you're making your own work of art, it certainly doesn't have to be the same. You know, you don't have to make a building with this exact same size or anything. Your buildings will be different. And of course, the bottom, I don't know. It's kind of weird that it goes right to the street, so I think I'm going to make a little ledge. I'm going to erase a little bit here. And when I erase and draw back in, I'll freehand those little marks like that. Okay, so we've got the face of the building here, and now we're going to make a line that's, again, parallel with the horizon, such as that. And that's the top. And then we want to do a line that's, again, perpendicular to the horizon or parallel with these lines right here the best we can. Okay, that'll work. And we're going to need to erase this line. Okay. And where I've erased, I'll just freehand that back in. And one more. I think what I'll do is make it even further back from this. Looks like a curb. Looks like a little better right there. And I make a little adjustments as I go along. I want this line to go back up a little bit so that it doesn't look all... A lot of it's erasing and getting it better. The first time you do it, it's not perfect, and so you erase it and you try again. All right. So there's our first building in 1-point perspective. If I were to draw another building, maybe behind this one, we could do that. I could make a smaller building behind it, and you won't see much of it, but I'll show you how we do it. That's the top roof there. This kind of looks weird until it's finished. There's the bottom. I'm going to make this line go up here parallel. Right there. The other side is going to be parallel here. And the thing about this is I wanted to make one that was smaller so that you can see when the buildings are smaller, we're going to see the top of the roof. And when we do that, it looks like we're just going to make one that is going to be parallel to the horizon. Yep. And then this will get the same little parallel line there. This will get this. So there's a building or a cube that sits behind it. And why don't we go ahead and make one more building over here that's a little lower to the horizon so you can see how we would make that roof again. And rewind this video and watch it as many times as you need to. We'll make one more building, and then we'll make a couple windows on it, and then I'll let you guys get started here. So we'll make it starting here. There's one side of the building. There's another side. I'll freehand a little bit here. Erase where I went over. Put my pencil to the dot, draw the bottom side. Okay, so that much we've already done. And now the tops are going to be just the 3 horizontal lines to the horizon here. So I can make this building a little wider. There's 1, 2, and 3. The side of this right here is just going to be perpendicular to the horizon, so it's going to be a 90-degree angle. And I'm going to erase what I drew extra. And the last line here is going to go into the horizon, such as this. So I take this corner right here, and I'm going to put my ruler up to the horizon and draw that in like that. And I got some extra line, and I'm going to get rid of it. So there's a building that's a little lower, okay? Now, this is just a start. It only took 10 or so minutes. There's a lot more that we could do here, and I think your artwork's going to look a lot better if you put in a lot more details. For example, some students have drawn in windows in there. I'll just go ahead and draw a couple here, but their lines, the more of these little windows you draw in, the more I think it just benefits your artwork, because the detail it's really quite nice when it's finished. So I'll make a row of windows here, and I'll let you imagine that I did this for the rest. I don't want you to sit here and watch me do the whole thing. I'll maybe fast forward through part of this. Okay, and then, so we've got, so this is just going to be and then if we draw some windows here, it would look like this. And then the bottom line is going to go up here like this. Okay, so, and then you can obviously make so that's a start. Once you get to this point, I feel like you'll know how 1-point perspective works. You can add as many buildings as you want. You can make smaller buildings and make more of them. One thing I do want you to do is think about what you want to put in the background. So you could put, it could be a night scene. It could look nice. I'll draw a moon up here, a crescent moon maybe, and then some stars. And when this artwork is finished, it's going to be completely colored in. So for now, I'm just using this pencil, but you'll want to use whatever art materials you have, colored pencil, marker, if you have crayon, whatever. So maybe I would make the grass green over here, and you can just be as creative as you want. Like I could put an antenna on top of this building here. I mean, just at this point, just let your creativity go. Okay. The main point of the lesson was learning how to draw using the 1-point perspective, and beyond that, it's really up to you to be creative with this. You don't have to make yours look exactly like mine. In fact, I don't want yours to look exactly like mine. Be creative. Imagine your own city here, and you can make cars on the road. You can make buildings, specific buildings that you might want to make or try to draw. And just most importantly, have fun.